Kind of different now that I got a kid. Really kind of different now how I got to live. Been up in the gym every day, 4 a.m. Got to go lift. Hey, what's up, Coach J? Then Willie Matt call up on the phone and I got to listen up, see what Coach say.
This is the Schmo with the pro. He's the number 13th ranked UFC featherweight. It's safe to say he's a man who will never own a Tesla. He's the outspoken, thug nasty, Bryce Mitchell, in the flesh, Sin City, Las Vegas, UFC 310 Fight Week. How we doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm ready to go, baby.
Very calm right now. A couple days away, you're going to be getting locked inside a cage against the Gracie.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. I mean, I grew up watching the Gracies. I have a tremendous amount of respect for them, and I think that God made this matchup because this is his plans for me. He wants to elevate me, and it's just destiny.
A cap in the feather if you submit a Gracie, yeah?
Oh, dude, if you submit a Gracie, there ain't nobody ever going to forget that. Yeah. I mean, that's something people will talk about to the end of time. If you submit a Gracie, are you kidding me, bro?
How pleased are you to be fighting this man, Kron Gracie, on the main card? It's been 19 months since we last seen him inside the cage. Are you a believer in ring rust?
Oh, yeah, I am a believer in ring rust, and it all depends on your training and whatnot. I feel like I've trained a whole bunch consistently, so I'm also really excited about the fight, so I just don't see the ring rust coming into play much. Man, that's, it's going to be an awesome fight. How can it not be? He comes forward, and he don't stop coming forward, and the dude don't get tired. Everybody actually talks bad about him on the internet. Go watch his fight with Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson's one of the elite strikers at 45. He walks him down the whole damn fight and takes every single punch he has, and he don't even flinch. He never even acts like he gets hurt. Even with the body shots didn't hurt him. I'm telling you, bro, this dude is tough, and if you underestimate this dude, you're an idiot.
Why are you going to steal the show and everyone's going to be talking about Thug Nasty Saturday evening at T-Mobile Arena?
Because I'm going to fight with all my heart. I'm going for the finish 100%. I'm not satisfied with anything other than a finish, and you're going to know I'm not out there trying to run the clock down. I'm out there going for the finish because I know that's what the fans want to see, and I'm here to put on a great show for the fans. Thank y'all for all tuning in.
A lot of people have a lot to say about you on the interwaves when you make comments about aliens, when you make comments about Elon Musk. What's the most entertaining thing you've ever read about yourself?
That I got CTE and brain damage and all that stuff. And, hey, you know the good thing about brain damage? It's all in your head.
That's right. It's all in your head.
But seriously, though, the doctor, he told me, he said, look, there's two things that are going to go when you get brain damage, Bryce. And he said, first one's memory. And he said, the second one is, shoot, I can't remember.
Oh, it's really kicking in.
Apparently.
Yeah, but good enough for you to have some good memorization for some bars, some good lines. Best rapper in the UFC, arguably best rapper in combat sports, arguably best rapper this side of the Mississippi and present day.
Quite the honor, man. I mean, I do got bars. That's undeniable. You give me a beat, I'll give you the bars.
Pat Barry, big fan of your last rap, too. Shout out to him in that rap line.
Yeah, that was nasty, bro. My guns hit hard like Pat Barry. Don't mess with me. I'm that scary. That's OG, dude. That's cool.
But if we called your phone right now, would it go straight to voicemail because we're a couple days away?
So hard that I cannot let my boy fail. Really kind of different now that I got a kid. Really kind of different now how I got to live. Been up in the gym every day, 4 a.m. Got to go lift. Hey, what's up, Coach J? Then Willie Matt call up on the phone and I got to listen up, see what Coach say.
No brain damage to memorize those lines.
Well, that's all my brain knows is that and fighting and farming.
How is the farm these days?
Man, the farm is doing really, really well. I'm still working on my infrastructure, and I know I've been saying that for like almost 10 years now, but that's just what building a farm is. Unless if you have extremes amounts of money and just hire all these people to build all your stuff for you. I don't. I have to build all of my barns. I have to build my house. I had to build my roof over my trailer. I had to put my septic tank in my trailer and in my house. I've also used to work at rentals a bunch. I've stopped working at rentals. I'm done working at rentals. I'm a farmer now. I don't do all that rental crap. But yeah, dude, I do so much manual labor. It's crazy. I don't think people realize that. But I also train at night consistently. But I do a lot of that labor during the day, and then I train at night.
Mostly your strength and conditioning comes on the farm.
Well, I started lifting a lot of weights for this fight. I think that you're going to be able to tell whenever I take my shirt off for this fight, because you're just going to be able to see I've got like bigger muscles.
Bigger muscles.
Yeah, I mean, not right now because I'm cutting weight, but when I get all those carbs in me, I think I'm going to look jacked. You're going to be able to tell I've been lifting weights.
Like deadlifts, squats.
I do squats, but it's got one of those little pads on the back,
Yeah.
and one of the safety things because I got a bad back, so I can't really squat a bunch. The highest I've ever squatted was maybe like 200 pounds, which I know is extremely weak. I'm not a squatter. I do have an impressive bench press, though.
Yeah.
My deadlift's not super impressive, but I would say for a guy my size, I got a good deadlift. That's probably the main farm lift right there, is a deadlift. You're always lifting up stuff on the farm. But when I'm doing a deadlift, I do a trap bar deadlift, so I don't lean over and lift in the front. I just go straight down and lift from the sides. But yeah, I do all of those lifts.
Who are your favorite UFC fighters to have conversations with when you're not training on the mats?
Okay, Chris Weidman for sure. I run into him at the sauna yesterday, and he just has such a great spirit about him. Chris Weidman. Dude, there's so many that it's really hard for me to even sit here and think of all of them, because when I think of Chris Weidman, then I think of Merab, then I think of Aljo, I think of all the Long Island guys, and I love all of them so much. Jake Shields, love Jake Shields. Really, there's not a bunch that I don't like. I pretty much like all the guys that I've met.
You bring up Aljamain Sterling. Do you think the winner of his fight against Movsar Evolve is going to get the next title shot at the featherweight division? You think the UFC is going to go in that direction?
I don't think that they're going to go in that direction, but I think that they should, because Aljo is very deserving, and I do believe that he's going to win the fight.
He's a good friend of yours, though. The only time you'd ever fight him, though, would a belt be on the line.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, if for a belt, me and him, we wouldn't mind fighting each other. But I don't even think that that'll happen, because I see him being able to get this belt within the next year and defend it as many times as he really wants to. And, he is on the older side, and I think that he could retire after defending the featherweight belt probably 3 or 4 times. And I think he might want to do that, but who knows? But, yeah, we would only fight each other for a belt. I don't ever see that happening. I love training with him. I totally trust that guy. And, yeah, dude, he could beat Topuria. He could beat anybody in the division. I mean, I train with the guy. I know him. I mean, he's literally that good.
What is Topuria's next fight? Is it Volkanovski? The rematch?
I don't think that's like my favorite matchup, but I'd certainly watch it. I think that, any fight that you do with him right now is just going to be fun. But, who knows what they have in mind. I honestly think the best matchup is Aljo wins this fight and Aljo gets the title shot. That's the fight that I would like to see the most. But, of course, everybody's going to say, well, you're biased because, you love Aljo, and that's true. But it'd be something different. I promise you he'd do better than anybody else has done.
But what is the Thug Nasty pathway to be fighting for that belt?
Got to go out here and get finishes. Dude, it really ain't that hard to get a title shot. You just got to get finishes. And you know that, bro. It's like they don't always base it off of the rank. They base it off of who just knocked out who just submitted who. And, dude, you just string together 3 finishes. And I mean like some badass finishes, not some, just some weak finishes. I mean, if you go out there and really perform 3 good times in a row, I think that you get a title shot.
Do you have that post-fight speech ready to go? Up in that noggin? No CTE?
Yeah, brother, I do have some things I definitely want to say. And I don't know everything that's going to be said, but there's a couple things I want to say for sure.
Would you ever run for political office in the state of Arkansas?
Yeah, I actually give people a chance for freedom. There's not another candidate that's even close to as radical as me that would actually free the people. And here's the number one thing that you could tell that I would do for the people is day one, I would make sure that all of these bureaucrats do not get any money, including myself. I would make a law to where you cannot be receiving money to run for governor. So that would either put people in the spot of governor who don't care about money, don't want money, or they're so wealthy that they don't need it. And that's better than like Asa Hutchinson. Look at him, dude. He got filthy rich because of his law firm. He helped all these Chinese people when he was in Arkansas, doing all these backdoor deals with the Chinese businesses. But these people get into office and use it to elevate their own status. Whereas I would say, look, I'm not going to take any money for being governor. I'm serving you people because I love you people, and I'm willing to die because they'd kill me. Just like they did JFK and Martin Luther King, because I would actually give people freedom. I would day one eliminate all property taxes, all sales taxes. I mean, pretty much damn near every single tax. I can't think of a tax that I wouldn't get rid of. Now, one thing that I wouldn't mind doing, I would debate, is doing tariffs on exports, because I think if you grow all of this rice in Arkansas and then sell it to people everywhere else, you could pay a little bit of a tariff there, because you're taking Arkansas produced goods and those goods are leaving Arkansas. So you're not helping Arkansans. So if we tax that a small 10%, which the rice farmers already pay and could easily afford, you could put that back towards roads or whatever. But, my best plan to generate money for taxes is actually for Arkansas. There's $100 bajillion of oil and natural gas in the ground. I would have a government organization that drills oil and takes that money, pays workers with that money, pays Social Security. Because remember, if you cut federal taxes, well, now people in Arkansas can't get their Social Security, right? The federal government would say, look, well, if you're not going to pay federal taxes, we're not going to give you Social Security. So I would step up as governor and say, okay, well, I'm going to drill oil, sell the oil, and then pay you your Social Securities that the federal government won't pay you. So I actually have an economic plan that would be very successful and wean us off of the federal government to where they would have no jurisdiction and no economic or monetary control over us at all. And we'd actually be able to open fire on the federal government as FBI, CIA, all these people that want to come in and take over farms, raid farms, they'd be under fire. I'd make fully automatic weapons totally 100% illegal. I'd make explosives to where C4 grenades, all these things, you could go through a licensing program and actually get an arsenal of weaponry to defend yourself from the federal government. That's what we need. We don't need to be fighting Chinese and Russians. We need to be fighting our own federal government. They're that crooked.
A lot of radical ideas, but a man for the people. Ever worried that you would have a target on your back?
No, because I'm ready to die, and I'm ready to die in the name of Jesus Christ, just like he died on the cross for me.
A man who's got a plan. Bryce Mitchell, a couple days away from getting locked inside a cage, inside the octagon. Final thoughts?
I want to thank Timothy Hill Ranch. That's somebody who sponsored me back home. But what they do is they run a rehabilitation camp, almost like a boot camp for kids who are almost going to go to jail, kind of had some trouble with the law, or potentially been abused by parents. I mean, these kids are just, they have not had the best start in life. And this Timothy Hill Ranch in Searcy, Arkansas, gives these boys a second chance. And they basically live on a ranch. They'll feed the cows, feed the horses, feed the chickens, pick eggs. They teach them to till a garden, plant a garden, maintain a garden. Everything you can, cook their own food. They make them wake up at 6 in the morning and lift weights and run. They make these kids work out and run a farm. And I'm not kidding you. It is a serious rehabilitation program. My role is go down there with the kids. I'll train with them. We'll do martial arts and stuff. We have a fun time. Sometimes we box. Sometimes we go full contact. Not very often. Most of it's jiu-jitsu type stuff or wrestling type stuff and weightlifting. But yeah, they are turning these boys into men at Timothy Hill Ranch. I do donate to Timothy Hill Ranch. And you can too. It's in Searcy, Arkansas, totally trustworthy. And I think a lot of their money probably goes towards buying more land so these kids have more cows. And of course, they have to accommodate these kids in housing, which that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a house for 20 kids to live in, you know what I mean? And they have strict rules. It's not like they're getting up there and those kids are partying. Those kids are living in boot camp, and then they're helping them find jobs in the local community. And I can sit here by name, and I can't name the kids because that's their infringement of privacy, but I know.
We'll leave the kids alone.
Yeah, I know multiple kids that are my friends that have got not only rehabilitated from that, got out of abusive households, but they've gone on to have successful jobs. Like one of them right now, he cuts down trees. he got doing that gig. So
Like a Johnny Appleseed, or I guess he planting those seeds too.
right, yeah, Johnny Appleseed plants them, right? He's like Paul Bunyan. He's taking the trees down, but that's a popular business for people in Arkansas or here in Vegas. You're probably like, well, why? That don't make sense. But in Arkansas, there's trees everywhere, right by people's houses. So you get paid like $1,000 a tree to take the tree down. Because if you do it wrong, you're gonna lose your house. The tree's gonna fall in the house. So people pay very good money. It's a very skilled and dangerous job. But anyways, these kids are getting a second chance, and that's what Timothy Hill Ranch is all about in Searcy, Arkansas.
Fresh off his steak and eggs, shout out to Kidron, doing a great job running up the mountain with you, hiking during fight week. He's the pro. I'm the Schmo. Bryce Mitchell competing UFC 310. We're out.